Hey there everyone, Lord Fidget here with another episode of Aether Raids Offense. This video covers the recently completed Astra season, and my season was relatively bad. I do have to preface that with the relatively because the end result was not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but I made a series of preventable mistakes near the end of the week, most notably trying to play the mode on Saturday. I'm not really sure what happened, but my brain just did not want to do the things, and I ended up burning 3 ladders on foolish, easily preventable mistakes. Fast forward today, and I slipped up again on a fairly complex AI read that I could have gotten right if my brain had decided to process the healing factors into the calculation of damage ratio portion of the attack priority rules. It was super weird. I absolutely read that part, but then I decided to ignore it. I'm starting to think I just need to brace myself and commit to actually carefully reading and understanding that AI guide in full. Up until now, I've worked mostly off my own observations of how the AI works, and turned to the guide to clarify things or fill in gaps here and there. Anyway, that's very much an internal discussion, so let's go ahead and get into today's battles. Today's first map is a box setup featuring a lot of prominent Aether Raids threats. There's a bit of a rally trap element, with Byleth carrying rally up attack plus. She doesn't have a warp skill, so realistically she would only target Edelgard with it, or Corrin, I guess, if she somehow couldn't deal 5 damage to whatever you stuck in her range, but that's enough to get Azura's Refresh for the range extension. It looks like the trap's most powerful use case is if you place a unit below or to the right of the tactics room, so Bramimond has some valuable backup. That said, I would still consider these 2 spaces a weakness, since the correct 2-range tank could possibly deal with Byleth and Bramimond. Another big weakness is this space on the left side. As the space is untrapped, it's a relatively simple matter to smite a unit onto the heavy trap below it, then pick off Byleth on the player phase. If you can then use a tank to reposition your attacker out, you are now free of the Byleth and could possibly force Azura into attacking, depending on whether or not Corrin dies. I haven't run the numbers myself, but it's possible that a Divine Fang boosted Altina could get the job done. Of course, that's only half the battle, and there are still 3 very scary enemies left to deal with, but it is a nice, predictable way to get the enemies moving. I'm not really sure what I did to deserve getting matched up with a Super Whale on the 4th day of the season, but oh well, here we go. So there are really only 2 significant threats to Dragon Wagon on this map. Those are Byleth, who has color advantage over Sothis and neutralizes the follow-up prevention effect of Zephyr Breath, plus she has Ruptured Sky. And then Bramimond, who just deals a whole lot of damage. Fortunately, I am in position to take out both threats on this turn. Let me go ahead and actually check this penalty on Altina. Okay, that's exactly what I thought it was. Smite Lucina up. She will be able to one-shot the Byleth, which is absolutely perfect. And then after that, when Byleth goes down, she'll res goes down with her, which means that Altina can be safely placed. Well, actually, first, let me reposition Lucina out so she doesn't get horribly murdered. But I can safely place Altina on the edge of Bramimond's range, and he will not one-hit KO her. I was very surprised when I figured out he was able to do that. But without the chill res, he isn't quite able to manage the feat, so perfect. So Corrin attacks first. I am expecting her to go down. I believe that even with her negating Fang mitigation, it should be an exact 1-hit KO, or 2-hit KO, sorry. Except she survives on 5 HP because of Shield Pulse. You know, I forgot that Shield Pulse did that 5 flat mitigation. Oh well. But Bramimond's attacking now, which means that Azura is basically forced to attack, otherwise she would have refreshed immediately, which is good because I also forgot about Lucina's attack smoke. Corrin dealt 7 less damage than I was expecting her to. But it looks like the Shield Pulse worked in my favor because that Joint Drive attack, well, actually, I suppose it wouldn't have mattered either way. With the Joint Drive attack, she's able to deal 5 damage. Without the Joint Drive attack, well, Corrin would be dead, and she'd be forced to attack anyway. So, I don't think I want to start grabbing the Aether structures just yet. Edelgard's a little close, I don't want her moving off toward Altina. I'm not sure if she even would, though. So let's go ahead and just take out Corrin, and we can have Idun start working down Celica. She's not going to get her Spurn-boosted Moonbow, and she's also not going to get her beloved Zofia healing, since she is not under full HP, and neither is Idun. I guess it really doesn't actually matter all that much, just because she attacks first anyway, and she doesn't get follow-up. So Idun's Aether is ready. That actually... well, I mean, even if she can't, then Lucina should be able to take it. Let me start with the Aether structures over here. Ooh, I can't do this in one turn. If I wanted to do that, I should have broken the Iron Fence with Lucina. Then I could have had Altina take the Fountain and Nog Warp in for the Amphorae. As it stands, I think I'm going to have to do this. Yeah, take out Celica with Lucina. And then I'm going to be banking on Edelgard going down towards Lucina instead of towards Naga, because Lucina has slower defenses, and they are actually the same amount of distance away turns-wise. So let's see, hopefully she goes straight down. I am expecting that. Okay, perfect! Now I can grab the Aether Amphore, and Idune's Aether and Armor Effectiveness should be enough to finish the job. The second map is a Restore Trap setup, where Veronica is able to relieve an ally of their penalties, and then get refreshed by a Mirabilis to extend her range. If this makes the AI aggressive, Tibarn is able to provide some follow-up from the left after receiving Leanne's refresh. It will be difficult to avoid his assault due to the huge range that he possesses as a beast flyer. I personally find it a little odd that Bernadetta is on a Restore Trap team, but the biggest weakness is definitely the fact that the map is split by the mountain and structures in column 3. This is really only something you can take advantage of with a team that does not apply long-range penalties, or has enough backline space available to hide from the Restore Trap. However, it is possible to rush the right side after a bit of prep, taking out Tibarn on the player phase. Then your attacking unit will only need to worry about Leanne, since there are obstacles preventing Bernadetta from reaching the far left side of the map. If you're running no long-range penalties, you can even safely bait Bernadetta out with an Altina, because both Mirabilises will move before Veronica, as the latter is a 2-range unit with an assist. I'm going to go ahead and send in the Claude raiding party for this battle. I'm actually going to be doing a 2-pronged offensive. Well, I mean, I guess technically it's not a 2-pronged offensive. Only one of the prongs is offensive, the other is kind of a bit of a bait situation. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is having Claude go up the left-hand side and pick off the Pirate Tibarn. And in the meantime, I will have Altina sit in the range of Bernadetta. Now this works because my team here does not force the Restore Trap because it doesn't have any long-range penalties. And essentially what I'm going for is I will have Claude will be attacking from a spot that only Leanne can actually get to, which will allow Altina to take out Bernadetta, and because it is a Restore Trap, then Veronica necessarily has an assist, which means that the 2 Mirabilises will actually move before her. So that's what makes this strategy tick. I'll have Lucina in position to support Altina. Claude definitely does not need any support to deal with Leanne, so having Lucina here to help Altina take out Bernadetta is, I think it's also pretty unnecessary, but it's much more useful than putting her near Claude. So speaking of Claude, he will be able to take out Tibarn with 2 53s. I'm actually kind of surprised that he managed to live a single hit of effective damage there, but I guess that's Pirate Tibarn for you. So let me go ahead and actually, how do I want to do this? How am I planning on getting to the Aether Fountain? I mean, I know what I'd like to do is get my legendary Lucina in front of one of the Mirabilises. She can tank one of those for a while. Okay, so this should be fine. So Bernadetta does attack first. She does not have any penalties, since, again, my team doesn't really have them. And she is not under full HP, because, well, I didn't hit her. And Claude doesn't have Savage Blow. So he's going to be able to take on Leanne. Unfortunately, this hit will not heal him, because he's not within 2 spaces of an ally, but that's fine. As expected, Veronica... Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. So let me actually move Altina over here, and because my Lucina has Wings of Mercy, I'll be able to have her warp to my Altina after this, and she can take out this Mirabilis. Hopefully this is the one with the life and death. Okay, cool. I don't know why she has life and death, but I am not complaining about it. So that should leave me free to pick up both of the Aether structures. I think I'll have Claude grab the Amphora now, and then let's see how I want to grab that fountain. I'll probably just have end up having Claude grab that as well. I should have time to yeah, I have time. I can finish this on turn 7.
Can't decide.
Yeah, definitely. I just need to take out the healing tower here, and then I suppose I can just have Lucina there, bump up my legendary Lucina's defenses, so she doesn't take too much damage. Not that it really matters. I mean, a 14 is actually probably more than I would expect in this scenario, but oh well, it doesn't really matter. Take the Aether Fountain and finish the job.
I won't lose.
And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raids Offense. Thankfully, I managed to get enough interesting battles earlier in the season to put together a decent video for you all, though it was shorter than usual. Hopefully I can get my act together for next Astra season. One bright spot here was the Claude team, which did really well on its first outing. That team replaced the young Sita team, and I'm actually thinking that I may replace the Alphonse team as well. He definitely does good work in certain situations, but I find that I'm not using the team very often, perhaps because I insist that Sothis in the Dragon Wagon team requires the quick repose seal to break through impact skills and the like. That said, I have no idea what I'd put in his spot. Perhaps I would switch Marita over, since Celica took her team slot in Light Season. I think I'll at least wait and see what the upcoming Mythic is before making any changes. I believe the trailer for that banner is actually dropping tonight. At any rate, Light Season returns next week, and I think I'm going to be using Anna as my bonus unit. She's really just going to be a smite bot, and I may actually use Dancing Lachesis instead for one of the teams, but we'll see how things turn out. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.